Go, Terry. We just lost Terry. She just came back.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome. Monday night with the Team Up community. I'm Terry Luongo, Plano, Texas, and it's so great to be with you this evening. And we're wrapping up. We wrapped up an incredible month of February, and we're well into March. And it's just a really, really exciting season. So if you want in the chat line to let us know who you are and where you're from, we would love to see that if you're Zooming with us. If you're watching us on Team Up, welcome everybody on Team Up. And if you're new to our community, let us say hi to you. Let us know who you are and where you're from, and we'd love to give you a warm greeting. So, all right. First of all, thank you to Judy Strickler, National Marketing Director, who took the call last Monday night because I was driving from Oregon down here to Plano, Texas, and it was an amazing interview with our very first female National Marketing Director, Sharon Rankin. She did an incredible job. Sharon was a mentor of mine when I joined this company, and we're primarily female. That's exciting. So talk about primarily feeding. And now I see that my internet connection is not stable. It's one of those nights, guys. All right, so February. If you're on the Team Up Facebook page, you saw the kind of month we had. I know it's the month of love and giving, but boy, I've got to tell you, so many of you stepped out. There's just dozens of you that got 5 or more customers. So many of you got 10 or more. Many of you, I'm looking at you right now, are already on this call. You keep showing up, and you show up and you're being rewarded big time. So thank you for that. So before we look at our interview tonight with National Marketing Director, Jennifer Saval, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's really on most people's minds today is what's going on in the Ukraine and how the Juice Plus community is stepping up big time. We know about the disruption in the war that's going on in the Ukraine. And right now, 1.4 million Ukrainians have left their home country, crossed borders into either Poland or Hungary. And it's estimated that that number will rise up to as many as 4 million refugees. And one of our national marketing directors, Guy Debou, who was a pilot for the UN years ago, combat veteran, has taken it upon himself to drive an initiative that now the Home Office is supporting, Stuart and Sean Hopkins, where we, the Juice Plus distributors, partners, can help supply food to those refugees that are crossing into specifically Poland right now, who's really getting the bulk of the refugees. And so Guy's already, I'm pretty sure right now, already on his way to Poland. And the Juice Plus, the Home Office is making it available for us to go on to My Juice Plus, okay, the My Juice Plus website. And it's not up right yet, but we're hoping that it's up tomorrow. We can purchase complete, and our complete purchase will be shipped directly to Poland. So as people are crossing in, they'll have food, good food. And Guy has said so many times now, as I'm listening to him on different Voxer chats, that when he was in combat, right, what kept him alive was the Juice Plus bars and the Juice Plus Complete. So what I'm hearing, and this could change in the next couple days, but that 15 servings of Complete will be available to us for about $38. Now, there's no PV attached to that. Yes, you're right, Ann Hunter. There's no PV attached to that. This is a gift. And you do not have to do this. Okay, you do not have to do this. But if you're so inclined, one purchase of 15 meals for $38, it's a gift. All the company asks is that we don't do any kind of social media posting about this, because that's the kind of company that we are, right? We're not looking to promote ourselves. We're just looking to Sermon on the Mount, guys. We're just helping people who are desperately in need right now. They're afraid, they don't know where they're going or what they're going to do, and they're going to be hungry. And so as soon as that information becomes available, it'll be on the Voxer chats and it'll be on the Team Up Facebook page. And I'm sure that if you're part of the tribe, Team Fun, all that information, you'll have easy access to it. So there you have it. All right, so tonight, we're already almost 9 minutes into this call. Jennifer Saval, I got to tell you, this girl has a reputation as being a rock star national marketing director who continues to rise through the ranks in a season where so many of us have, self-included, kind of fallen asleep at the wheel. Life is hard, life is tough. 2 years of COVID or 2.5 years, I don't know, we're into now, of kind of just stepping back and not living our dream, not living our mission, not living our purpose, okay, kind of stepping back. And this woman, Jennifer Saval, has said, oh no, she kept going for it and going for it and going for it. And I think the word that comes to me when I think of Jennifer Saval is resolve. So we are going to show you an incredible interview with Jennifer Saval. And I think you'll be as impressed as I am. So paper and pen, get ready. She's a master educator, but she's a master role model. Go ahead, Kathy. Thank you.
Just inspire us tonight. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. And thank you for keeping us on track tonight to keep this year going strong.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy, and thanks everyone for tuning in and being willing to hop on whatever time zone you're in. I feel very privileged and honored. So thank you. And I don't practice what I say, so I never usually say the same thing twice, but I spoke at Peachtree a few weeks ago and I asked Stacey, I said, would you mind if I shared some slides, because that'll actually help me stay on track, and I certainly want to. I take this honor very seriously, so I definitely want to stay on track and stay in my lane. So for you guys, let's see. Okay, Stacy, can you see this? I'm going to actually hit slideshow.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this thank you for what you said. And this product saved my family's life as far as I'm concerned. Nobody thought anything was really all that wrong with us in the healthcare field. My background is pharmaceutical research and sales, called on doctors and pharmacists for over 10 years. So medicine was absolutely the first route to go, but when it wasn't working, I was wondering what to do next. And my best friend from childhood shared this with me. I trusted her completely. And so I said yes, but my husband said no. So it was about 1.5 years before we finally dove in. And I will tell you, it took us from desperate to absolutely thriving. And I won't go into all the facts and figures because I'm actually not going to focus on the systems or the specifics tonight. I'm really going to talk about why I continue to do this even as life is happening. And that's what my talk is called. It's called Life Happens. And I learned to live it while I've been in this business. And so I hope that I'm actually going to spend some time in my story in a really different way than probably all of you have heard it before. But my hope is that we can kind of just sit in the stuff together to know that we all have life happening. And I learned that really important word in this business, and we can keep living it. And so because of the products and what it did for me, I was paying it forward to women in my life, not interested or thinking I needed the B word. The business was of no interest whatsoever to me. But I was doing apparently what all of you and me now too were doing. I was paying it forward as I lived life. And I just found myself asking women on the playground and at preschool pickup and on walks, I wonder if what I'm doing would help you too. That's all I asked. And that's actually still what I ask. So maybe if you take anything else, that's the question. I wonder if what I'm doing would help you too. And I meant it just from a genuine helper standpoint, because we don't like to see the people that we love in our life suffering, right? So, and I felt that suffering and then I wasn't. And so I wanted other people to feel better too. And it was because I had sent so many people to my friend that she came back to me and she said, well, literally, you'd be paying for all of your Juice Plus if you would just become a partner. And because my husband and I were still kind of going at it with the cost, even though we have a single family income at the time, it was an amazing income, but we still fought over money because we were living in the fear factor because we were both from huge families that were lower middle class and scraped by all the time. So we were saying no to everything. And when my friend told me I could pay for my product and I knew I wouldn't have to fight with my husband anymore, we said yes. So that's why I signed my application. That's it. I had no goals. So I'm going to kind of show you, this is what most people know about me. Because like Stacey said, I don't like being the center of attention. I'm a huge introvert. I'm a very private person. And so all of these things, I'm not going to run through it. You guys can read it. But all the things that I'm known for are the things that make me really uncomfortable. I've gotten almost every award that the company hands out, and I've done it in a very short period of time. I had no idea what an Elton Award was. I thought I was going to a fancy dinner. If I knew I was going to be on stage, I would not have worn as tight of a dress as I did. But oh well. And as you can see, I also have climbed through the club levels very, very quickly. And I know this is being recorded, and I know that the company gets really sensitive about when we talk about certain things like money, but this is my true story, and I'm going to stand behind it, and I can show you the pay stubs to prove it. So as you can see, from my first $1,000 paycheck to my first $10,000 paycheck, it was exactly 4 years. And you guys might have thought that I am just doing, but I will tell you that again, this was saving my life through all the things. So where I just really want to encourage you that as you're looking at someone that you admire or that encourages you to keep growing, maybe it's an upline sponsor or sideline buddy, just know that all of us, in fact, I know y'all are muted, but just say, I know you've got stuff. I know you've got stuff because we all do. So here's my highlight reel. Like I said, I'm not going to go through it all, but yeah, I've had quite the ride. So let's talk about the real stuff though, okay? Because this has given us a lot of yeses, but it's also been through a lot of stuff. And guess what? Y'all didn't know the stuff because y'all didn't need to know the stuff. Very few people knew the stuff because it's hard. And the thing is, I'm not going to read through all the details, but I think all of us can feel what loss is, what trauma is, what transition is, stress, isolation, abandonment. I mean, fill in the blank of the things that make you want to get in the fetal position. Because I think just in the last 2 years alone, probably all of you may have had that moment or wanted to be in that moment, not getting out of bed. But I've had some really hard things happen while all that good stuff was happening, while all the accolades, all the growth. And I don't regret any minute of living in the and during this time. When my husband's twin sister passed away, it was the darkest day of his life, and it proceeded to be some of the darkest times in our marriage. You can see the matchups of when things were happening and what was happening in the real life. I'm going to talk to you guys in a little bit more detail about some of these things a little bit later and why I encourage you to keep living the life as life is happening. But guys, it's not ever going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a perfect situation. You have to decide if you're going to keep going. And that's what this business has taught me, is that we have at least two choices. I don't know about you, but I didn't know I had even one choice sometimes. When I was crying in the nursery with my little baby who hadn't slept in almost 3 years, I didn't know I had choices. But all of a sudden we started feeling better, and I realized that we had choices. And so that first $1,000 paycheck gave me the courage to ask what if, because we were sending our oldest to a school that was not good for him. We were saying no to a lot of things, and I wondered what if. So that first $1,000 paycheck gave me the desire to at least ask, what could this look like if I did it more seriously? Gave me the courage to say yes to a conference where I heard, and I see that she's on, Casey Schloss give her an MD speech, which I didn't know her from Adam, but she's the one that helped me see the vision for what this could be. So I hope that I'm not making anyone feel sorry for me, because I would not trade my life for the world. But I do want to convey that comparison is the thief of joy. And we never truly know what's going on in anyone's four walls. And so may that be one of my first challenges to you, is the people that are on your heart to share. I promise you, you don't know all that's going on in her life. So keep sharing, because you may be the person that she absolutely needs you to share with. So what in the world has happened because I kept showing up in living the life in the and? Well, good grief, you guys. This was in St. Louis, and it's like herding cats trying to get women in a picture. So this isn't even all of us that were there, but we have helped thousands of people, thousands. We have healthier families. We have multiple NMDs. We had 3 new QNMDs just in the last conference period. We're making memories. We're getting to say yes more. And my family alone is saying yes and asking what if. I'm creating that legacy for my boys who are now 10 and 13, and my husband to wonder what if. We're prioritizing our family. We're being present. I get to choose my schedule. I choose who I work with. Oh my goodness. Again, the choices, and it's choices that make us rich, you guys. It's the choices, right? So I'm not going to read through all of these. You can see them, but it's the memories and the experiences. It's the giving and the saving. What is important to you, right? So it's not my life. What do you want out of your life? So let's talk about that. What the heck are we going to talk about? 3 things. These are 3 things that I hope that you will feel an encouragement and a challenge to consider for yourselves, but getting really connected to your why to, because that absolutely leads to the what to and the want to. Those things are simple. It's reframing the no, and it's steering your own ship. So let's talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to dig too deep in these because we only have about 15 more minutes, but these are my babies right after we started eating Juice Plus, and we were able to go to the pumpkin patch for the first time and actually enjoy ourselves. So my why is just, it's so many layers, and for so many of you it probably is too. These are our 3 Qs: Tammy and Carla and Kaylee, one of each direct to Jen Stifler, Ashley Hudson, and myself. I call them our Q triplets. But these are the questions that I encourage you to ask yourself. And the first thing is, what do you want? And I think as women, especially, and I know, John, you're on, and maybe a few other men, I can't see everyone who's on, but this business is primarily women, or the women in your life if you're a man. And I think often we stop asking ourselves what we want because we start just doing the do. We start getting through our lives. And I will tell you, I was living for nap time and bedtime for a long time, and I was a shell of myself. And I refused to shrink back to that person because she was doing nobody any good. And so I encourage you to take time and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? And then ask yourself why. And please don't stop asking why until you feel it. Sometimes we hear a why that makes you cry, but maybe it's a why that gets you mad. Maybe it's a why that makes you laugh so hard you can't stop. You have to feel emotion and to know that you're connected. And again, maybe this is the thing that you take away, that you stop telling your kids to stop asking you why. Because that's something else. I think at one point in our life, we think we stop giving ourselves permission to ask why. And so we don't know. So we become doers and we're not beers. You're human beings. Okay, so what do you want and why do you want it? And then when do you want it? Our brains were made for conclusions. If we don't give it one, we're just going to keep wanting what we want and we're never going to get there. And you might not make that when to exactly, but I promise you, you will. You have to make a timeline for your goals. And then what are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to do? Maybe it's learning boundaries and stop saying yes so much to the things that you don't need to be prioritizing. I know some of you are out there because that used to be me. I used to say yes to everything to make people like me. Okay, maybe it's not watching Netflix. Maybe it's not being on Facebook for 2 hours. How about just 20 minutes, right? And I'm old. Is Facebook? Facebook's out of style. I'm sorry. Maybe Instagram, whatever. Okay, so these are your 3 questions. Okay, I am not going to talk about systems tonight at all. It's all in the Freedom Revolution. I feel like you can see a version of any of this for anybody. I'm not going to go into this today. I've got a training on our systems. I can totally send that to you guys. But let's go into reframing the no. I want to ask you, why do you expect someone to say yes to you the first time? Why have you put that expectation on yourself? You're doing yourself and that person a disservice. I am a gut girl. I do say yes fast, but my husband, thank God, he will analyze something to the nth degree. So somewhere in the middle, it all works out. But think about that. Why are you expecting a yes as your first response? Because I will tell you that if Wendy in the sparkly dress, the turquoise dress, if she had waited on each one of us to say yes, she certainly would not be the 100 Club plus that she is today. And I will tell you something right now. A lot of people know that my first national marketing director was Jen Stifler, the gorgeous middle in the red. She was a new QSC on my team when I became an NMD. She was barely on my team. So don't look at anyone and say, oh, well, she's got the rock stars. No. Don't do that to yourself. If I had waited for Jen Stifler to say yes to me, I would still be a sales coordinator. So why do you expect yes? So think about this. People say yes when they feel connected. They feel connected when they feel listened to. And when they feel listened to, they start to trust you. I said yes to my best friend because I had known her for decades. I trusted her. Right? Most people will say no 4 to 5 times easily before they'll say yes. And that is anybody's buyer's experience. Think about other things, big things that you find value in. When you've said yes, it's because it takes you time to find the value. Sometimes it takes the timing and you seeing the need and the urgency, right? So what if, this is Jen after she gave her NMD speech with her handsome husband and her older sister and me, what if you use the no to get to the next best yes, right? So what? She said no to me all the time, but I kept pursuing that girl because I knew if nothing else, I wanted her to be one of my best friends. So what are you doing to get the next best yes? How about you mind your yeses instead of the no's, right? Then the no's get a lot less power. And I know you guys have heard this, but an NO is just because they don't KNOW enough, right? So ask yourself, what is the next best yes I can get? Have you taken a look at your relationship? Maybe you haven't earned the yes, right? Maybe you're just not asking the right questions. Maybe you haven't asked the specific question. Have you asked for the order? Have you asked for them to partner with you? Have you asked them to come see what you see and to sit next to you at Juice Plus Live? Right? If you're not asking questions and being quiet enough to pull out the needs and desires of people, they're not going to start to put themselves in the place that you're in and wonder what if to. You've got to give them that space, and that space builds trust. Right? Okay, so are you saying yes to you? If you're not 100% in, then you need to check that on yourself, right? If you're not saying yes, who is going to follow you? I'm 100% passionate and confident like Stacy relayed at the beginning because this changed my life. I will never not eat Juice Plus. Never. And anyone who will listen to me after I hear their needs and desires, I will share the heck out of it. So are you saying yes to you? Right? So yeses. When you say yes to yourself, others will follow you. People are not going to get in the car with someone that they don't know where they're going, right? I will tell you time and time again, yes, consistency is key and fortune is in the follow-up. And if you want to make a paycheck that pays you like you're working, then you should work. And to work, do the DMO. There's a free DMO on the Freedom Revolution. Stacy Turner has made an incredible DMO as well. What works for you, but use something that's going to help you show up for your business. Some of these numbers I feel like are a little off now because the comp plan has changed, but just to give you an idea, we don't talk about PB qualification enough, and I'm not going to talk about it tonight because I'm trying to help you guys with your mindset. But PB qualification is the place to be. If you're not there, you're doing yourself a disservice for your paycheck. It's where the steadiness, where the stability and the depth start. My PB part of my paycheck is 5 figures alone. And that's based on work I've already done. Okay. Think about it. You help 3 other people say yes and get to PB. That is an average $1,200 a month of paycheck. So again, it's based on customers and partners, right? The more you have, the more you get paid. PBQ, I told you I was going to talk about it, so I was about to tell you the specifics. I'm not doing it. Okay. So what else can you say yes to? I'm telling you what, the more big events that you get to, the better your business will look. I was told early on that the amount of people I get to a big event to me, and I count those as boot camps and Juice Plus Lives. I'm sorry, virtuals just don't cut it, and you guys can hate me for it. But I know you wouldn't hate me, but seriously, being your butt in the seat in the live place, it's so much more powerful. The energy, if I could bottle up and bring it back to people, I would, but you can't. But I was told the people that you get at your big event, the next Juice Plus Live, that will represent the amount of qualifiers you have. And I am not lying every time. So you better bet I'm trying to get 100 people to Juice Plus Live. Okay, so lastly, steering your own ship. Life never stops, and your circumstances don't have to rule you, right? They don't have to rule you. They can. And if you are in a place where there is something going on in your life and you are frozen, I will be the first to tell you that I will never judge you. Never, ever, ever. But what if you do something and what we are in is a business for good, for others? And I tell you what, there is something about that. There's something about giving and showing up for others and what that does and how you can handle and navigate through the things going on in your life. And all of a sudden, it's not life is happening to me, but it's life is happening for me. And you may not be in a place where that is something you can fathom right now, and that's okay. Some of you may have seen in my real stuff slide that my sponsor left 2 years ago. She was also the best friend that shared with me, right? For a lot of people, that could totally paralyze them. It was very public. And as Stacy said, I don't like being the center of attention. So did I let my circumstance rule me? You better, no way. I said, absolutely not. I am letting my team know that I am here, I am loyal, and I am for them, and I am with them, and we are going. So do circumstances have to rule you? No. And why is that? Because I want you to ask yourselves these questions. You cannot be connected to someone else's yes or no. What is important to you? What do you want? Show up for you. These are also the questions that we ask in our organization to get people to share their story. Because if we are commercials, people are going to run from us. And this helps you stay connected to what you want. What was life like before Juice Plus? How did you feel about your life? Do you have any words or a phrase that can describe that? Because again, we're mostly women. We're not going to connect with the breathing machine and the la 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 la, but we will connect with the fact that I felt desperate. And then we were thriving. What was life like before? What's life like now? Now that you know about Juice Plus, you're eating Juice Plus, you're able to pay it forward. How does that make you feel? What are some words or phrases that describe that? And then your future. How do you feel about your future? What are you hopeful for? Can you describe that? Because you guys, as I wrap up, if you do nothing, that's okay. Remember, we have at least 2 choices, and choices make us rich, right? So I'm gonna just kind of go back to the real stuff, and then I'm done. But if you do nothing, I just want you to own it. Because if you do nothing, if you don't talk to the person you know that you need to, or do the thing, or set the goal, nothing changes. And if that's okay with you, if you are content in that, please celebrate it, because that is awesome. But what if you do the thing? And what if everything changes? What if everything changes and you get to start saying yes more? What do you want? Okay, so my very first why was getting my baby boy to a school that would love his heart, his soul, and his mind. This is their picture at the first day of school. Luke was started 4th and Sutton started 7th. They've been there since Sutton was in 1st grade now, and Luke started in kindergarten. But I will tell you what, this email, I don't know how it's looking on y'all's side, but it's on my left. And this is from the director, my dear friend Sarah, who's a cancel customer, by the way. But I did get her on a Zoom last week. She started a new school for mommies. And my husband and me are one of the founding members, and we pay a very nice fee every month so that mommies can have choices for their babies too. Because this is a school that gives mommies choices for this school to also feed their babies hearts, minds, and souls, but maybe they don't have the income that we do. So my why has come full circle in that I wanted my son to have a place he would feel loved and well cared for. And now we get to help a friend who had a God desire put on her heart, start a school. And now it's pre-K through 3rd grade. And they're starting a new grade every year. And we get to be a part of that because of my paycheck. Because I said yes to me first and then to helping others. I'm going to share 2 more examples with you real quick. My husband, so you may have seen that my husband took a new job in my real stuff slide, and he got to take that job because I was on the verge of NMD and we knew we were going to get those benefits. The job that he was going for, he was in big pharma, like Stacey and I used to be in, and he had an opportunity to go to a startup biotech dermatology company, but they didn't offer benefits. He would have never even considered that job if I hadn't first said yes to our health, to paying this forward, and to really saying yes to me and to the business and treating it like a business to get paid, that we had a start of a full-time income and a benefits package. And where this really gets me is, I didn't talk about this earlier, but my husband's one of his best friends passed away a year after his sister did. He suffered a stroke at 40 years old, carrying his laundry up the stairs. He left behind a wife with 3 kids, and she's one of our dearest friends. And my husband, because he is now a vice president of sales in that derm company, when we were in the room with Skip, and he couldn't talk to us, but his wife Stuart was there, and he said, "Skip, I'm going to take care of your family." And I'll tell you what, I had no idea what he meant by that. But he was able to offer Stuart a job, because she's also from pharma, to stay at home and work part-time and provide for her 3 children financially, but also be there for them in the hardest, darkest time of their lives, and be there for the counseling and be there when they needed to talk. And I have to believe that because of my yes, my husband had that job and in that moment was able to give her that yes for her family too. So you guys, what do you want? And what could your yeses be giving someone else a yes to in the future? Because life's not going to stop, but we can keep living it. And I'll tell you, you'll probably start to love the life you're living. That's it, guys. That's all I got. I hope that was helpful. Thank you, Stacy, and other amazing NODs for inviting me.
Jennifer, I don't,
Judy Strickler just said it best. What conviction, huh? What conviction. What a beautiful girl. And what a blessing she is to all of us in this company. One of the things, I wrote down a couple of things that she said that really resonated with me. This is in the very beginning. She said, I wonder if what I'm doing would help you too. Did you write that one down? Wow. What a great way to connect with someone as you're living life and you're hearing people talk about, you know, what their needs, wants, or desires are. Okay. I love, because you guys know I'm all about goals. Our brains were made for conclusion. Goals with a timeline. If we don't have them, then I can guarantee you that March 7th, 2023, you'll be exactly where you are today if you don't have goals that guide your behavior. So there was that. Yeah. And lastly, I wrote down, show up for you. And when you show up for you, everybody is blessed. So anybody want to give me any thoughts as before we say goodnight?
I like the one thing she said, Terry, when she said, life is happening for me, not to me. That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah. And so there's the flip. You move from being the victim to being proactive. Life is happening for me. Everything that happens to you, usually there's a great lesson there for us for growth and expansion. Anybody else have a takeaway that they want to share tonight? All right. So have a great week. Love to know if you want to visit with me on Voxer, what your goals are for the year and how you're going to show up for you. So we'll see you next Monday night. Peace and blessings. Have a great week. Good night, guys.